Hey guys, this is going to be another foundation tutorial. This time I'm kind of combining two things in one. It's a tutorial on doing tinted moisturizer, but at the same time I want to gear this as something toward those who have said, hey, I live in a really dry climate and I know the weather is starting to cool down and the air is drier, and you want something that's going to hold some moisture in your skin, but also give you some coverage and some color as well. So I'm going to show you how to do that today. Hopefully some of you who have requested this quite a while ago, I'm finally getting to it, so thank you for patiently waiting. So now that I've stylishly clipped my hair back, I'm going to start out actually from the very first step here, because even though I'm going to incorporate a tinted moisturizer, I want to start out with regular moisturizer, because we're talking, I mean, if you are truly in dry weather, you do need something a little extra. So I'm just using my Mary Kay Time-Wise moisturizer. I like their skincare line. I think it keeps your skin just really smooth and soft. So just gonna use that all over. And I mean, this is always a step that I do before any of my foundation tutorials, but I just wanted to get the point across that even though I'm doing tinted moisturizer today, I still moisturize beforehand. Alright, so we've got that part. So next you have an option. At this point you want to give that a little bit of chance to absorb into your skin, and the next thing you could do, if you want more coverage, you could take a liquid foundation and you could blend that in with some more of this moisturizer, and you might get a more full coverage look out of it while also getting more moisture. Or you can just take something that claims to be a tinted moisturizer and use that. So I'm going to use my Mary Kay Tinted Moisturizer. They make these long little tubes here, and mine is beige 1, and it's tinted moisturizer with SPF 20 as well, so that's nice. And so this would be for like a lighter coverage look. And another part of the reason why, I guess with this particular product, that I would do some moisturizer first is because I don't feel like this is extremely moisturizing. I feel like it actually gives sort of good coverage, but it just doesn't have a lot of moisture in it, just to use as is, at least for my skin. So anyway, I'm going to go around and kind of apply this like I would apply a foundation with my fingers. And I'm going to kind of try to work from the inside, there, the inner part of my face out, and go right up under your eyes, because you'd be surprised at how some tinted moisturizers really do provide some coverage, and this one is one of those. So I get it right up under my eye and notice some differences there, and then work up to my forehead. And again, if you have oily skin, then the 2 steps of moisturizer might be too much for you, and you may want to just stick with your tinted moisturizer. But you just kind of have to gauge your your own skin, because and like with mine, for example, it tends to be more oily in the summer and more dry in the winter, and that's just something I've kind of gotten used to. So really just keep a close track of how your skin changes with the seasons, and then you'll know what your needs are, and just pay attention to formulations. If it feels like it's not giving you enough moisture, then you need to maybe add in something else. So basically I've just applied that moisturizer all over, and I've gotten a little extra coverage out of that, since I think this, it borders on slightly less moisturizing, slightly more coverage, but it's a good one. So I mean, I could recommend this. to anybody who's looking for a good tinted moisturizer. But at this point, I would go ahead and do some concealer on top of what I've just done, because I mean, you may have gotten some coverage out of that tinted moisturizer on there. So I'm going to use my Maybelline Mineral Power Concealer over just those areas, non-under eye areas right now. So anywhere that I just want a little bit of coverage, and I know if I put this over any blemishes, it's not going to irritate it further. And then for under eye, one of my favorite concealers right now is my Bobbi Brown stuff. So I'm going to use, there's a corrector, which is like kind of a salmon-y color, and that I usually use that before on-air stuff, but for every day, I think the creamy concealer kit is fine. So grab my brush, and this is just, you know, nice creamy pigmented concealer, and I'm just going to work this around the inner corners of my eye, and also come down under and go right up to your lower lash line with that. And this has such good coverage. I love this concealer. I use this so much. And yeah, it is, I mean, pricier, but this is a very important place on your face. I mean, especially if you're doing morning news and you don't want to look tired. Very important. Okay, and another cool aspect of this concealer is on the bottom part. It has a little, it's pale yellow loose setting powder, so you can like really lock in your concealer. Bobbi Brown really is a proponent of using a decent amount of loose powder to set your liquid products that you put on your face, so it really does help the staying power of your concealer. So set that, and you can run over your other concealer you've done too. And then I would encourage you, after you have done, remember we did the whole tinted moisturizer thing, to go ahead and use some loose powder to set everything. So you can use, I mean, just about any loose powder will do. A really affordable one that works well, especially to kind of balance out the moisture in your skin, and, you know, walking that line between having moisturized skin and having oily skin, because you don't want that appearance. The NYC Smooth Skin Loose Face Powder is really affordable, I think, and it's just, you get a ton of product, and it just does a good job of keeping your skin still matte, even though you know, still have some moisture on it. So I'm just going to go ahead and go over the entire face with that. And, you know, this really just helps you have that balance of not getting dry, but also, you know, and this does kind of up your coverage. It kind of clings, you know, a little bit to that tinted moisturizer that you had on. And there you go, guys. That's basically the whole process I would go through to when I'm applying tinted moisturizer. Again, what I did, and this is a recommendation for those of you who really do notice a change in your skin when the weather starts to change and the air is much more dry, there's much less humidity in the air. Use a moisturizer, any moisturizer, and then let that kind of sink in, and then go ahead and use a tinted moisturizer if your tinted moisturizer is not extremely high on the moisture side. I mean, we all know, if you've used several different kinds of tinted moisturizers, they're not all really moisture, you know, there's not a lot of moisture in all of them. Some of them are more towards the coverage side of things, so just be aware of that. You know, you're going to have to kind of use your own opinion on your products, but once you do that, some concealer, some setting powder, and you'll be good to go. So thanks for watching.